Namaskar. Welcome to the live session of YouTube. I welcome you all on behalf of Maherbari International Vedanta Society. Today, we know that we are going to start a new chapter, a new subject. The subject is of course Vedanta, but the chapter is new. We had 8 sessions prior to this on Isha Upanishad, and thereafter it was a suggestion from one of you to take up Vedanta sadhana, but then I had a one-to-one contact with Dr. Resham Chattopadhyay, who actually suggested that, and she said that Swamiji, I want to hear it when I go in person physically. So we gave up that topic, and today we have taken up the topic as the realization, the path to realization. So I welcome you all to this live session on path to realization. I welcome Yuri from USA, Shulekhaji, Bagus from Indonesia, Kalpanaji from Patna, and we will be joined by more friends and devotees of International Vedanta Society and well-wishers of IVS from all over the world. All are joining in one by one. Meili from Singapore, Pashupatiji from Kolkata. So, Dr. Resham Chattopadhyay, welcome. Shubha Shao, Bapaditya Pal, you are all welcome. So, today I have taken up this topic, the path to realization. So, the first thing is that, as said by Swami Pavitranandaji, that this path is the path of self-discovery. Badalji, welcome. It has been said, and it has been said in Vedanta also, that this path is the path of self-discovery, that we have to discover our own self, that we know. Okay, that this is a path of self-discovery, and also that this is a path of self-rectification. So, and when does this word rectification come? As said by Swami Pavitranandaji, he says very beautifully that self-rectification is only possible when one thinks that I should and must rectify myself. Mr. Dulal Chakrabarti from Borpeta, you are also welcome. Sujay Pal, Munmunji, all are heartily welcome. So, it is said that self-rectification is only possible when one thinks that I should and must rectify myself. Now, there are 2 types of truth which we deal with. You know, the one is the truth that we see all around us of this phenomenal world. This is one truth. And the other truth is the absolute truth. This truth that we see in the phenomenal world are all relative truth. Good, bad, right, wrong, these are all relative truth. And the other truth, for which we are here discussing Vedanta and Upanishads, is the truth of the ultimate, the supreme truth or the ultimate truth. So, in this world, as we see ourselves, what do we see? That we are enslaved with our desires, with our wishes, with our wants, with our sufferings, with our pains, with everything, you know, whatever we see, we feel ourselves to be enchained in all these fetters. In all these chains, we are being enchained one after another. And what do we want? You know, as we go along this path, we see that when we are in this world, you know, leading a good life, happy life, we are okay. We don't have any problem. But the problem comes when we face some, uh, just a minute, let me adjust a bit. Sorry. Just a minute. Yeah. So, okay. Thank you for bearing with me. These are all technical things that are very hard, at times. So, it is said that as we go along in this world, we are passing good times and we are having happy times. There is no problem for us. But we think about a higher truth, the existence of a higher truth when we face adversities, when we are in the midst of sufferings, when someone very dear or near to us suddenly passes away, then we question the existence, this futile existence of ours, or we question about the truth of this universe, that is this what we see all true, or is there a higher truth, a higher existence, a higher truth beyond what we see? There has been a very beautiful example given in the Mundak Upanishad, which is the opening, lines of the opening verse of the Mundak Upanishad, that there is a tree. There is a tree, and it's a big tree and full of fruits, and there is a bird on the ground just beneath the tree, under the tree, which is tasting the fruits which have fallen on the ground from the trees. So it is going on tasting the fruits which are on the ground, and when it is tasting the fruits, when it is putting its beak in the sweet fruits, it's okay, it's fine, it's going on enjoying the fruit. But at times, it tastes a fruit which is sour. And whenever the fruit is sour or bitter, he just looks up. He doesn't look up when the fruit is tasty, when it is sweet, but he looks up whenever it's a bitter or sour fruit. It looks up, and then it sees that on the topmost branch there is another bird which is sitting there, and it is immersed in its own self. It doesn't has anything to do with this world or anything. It is just looking at the infinite and quiet and calm and as if immersed in its own self. It sees that bird and it jumps to a branch. Again on that branch there are fruits, many fruits. It again goes on pricking the fruits one after another, and as long as it is tasting the fruits which are sweet, it doesn't see anything else. It goes on tasting the fruit. But again when it tastes a fruit which is sour, it again looks up. And when it looks up, it sees that bird, the second bird, which is on the topmost branch of the tree, in the same way. It is unperturbed, it is quiet and calm, looking at the infinite. It again jumps to the next branch and again goes on tasting the fruits. And this continues. And every time it tastes a sour or a bitter fruit, it looks up and looks at the second bird and sees that it is quiet and calm in the same way. Nothing to do with this humdrum of this world, nothing to do with anything. It doesn't have any relation with anything. It is just quiet and calm and immersed in itself. After some time, it gradually reaches near the bird, the second bird. And a time comes when it jumps higher and reaches the topmost branch where the second bird is. And when it reaches to the topmost part, it sees that there was no second bird. The bird which was down there, it was just the reflection of that bird. It was always a single bird. There was no second bird any time. What does it mean? That we are like the first bird. We are tasting the good and bad and everything that we have, and we are passing on. We are passing on with everything. And as long as we don't have any problems, we don't have any sufferings, we don't face any adversities, we go on nicely. We don't look for a higher truth. We know this is the truth, okay, this is the world, and this is this, and we go on. But when suddenly we come across adversities, we face sufferings and pains and agonies. When a near or dear one of mine dies, I, like the first bird, look up. What is it looking? It is looking to a higher truth. That is there any higher truth than this? That what I have been seeing till now, what I have been watching till now, what I know as all these things, is this true, or is there something beyond this relative truth? Is there something, more grand existence, or a sublime existence, or an absolute existence beyond this phenomenal existence, or beyond this relative existence? We look up. But again, with the passage of time, we forget. We again get busy, we get along with the business of this world, We get ourselves busy, we make ourselves busy, and we again go on with the happiness and everything what comes along. We take it, we accept it. But again, we pick a bitter fruit. No sooner do we pick a bitter fruit, then we look up again to that higher truth. And this journey continues, going up step by step, climbing the branches step by step, until and unless we reach that ultimate where that second bird was, on the topmost branch of the tree. And yes, Devashishji, that quest, and when does the quest come? The quest comes, as I said, that when I face some adversities. When there is adversity, I have to face some adversity, or when there is something which is not pleasurable to me, which gives me pain or sorrow, I come across sorrow, I come across pain and sufferings, then I look at the ultimate. That is there anything which is beyond this what I see? Because this world no longer satisfies me. When a near or dear one of mine suddenly dies, then this world, which was till the moment before so beautiful to me, full of truth, I don't want anything else, I am fully satisfied with this world. Suddenly, just in a fraction of a second, this world becomes so futile, so useless. And that I even question the existence of this world, that is this true? Or is there something, a higher truth beyond this truth that we are seeing? We question the reality of this existence. And we gradually, all these adversities, they arouse in us, they bring in us the seeking, the quest, the thirst to know that ultimate. And that is why, it has been said that in this path, adversities are always welcome, because whenever there will be adversity, I will be looking to a higher truth. There are many beautiful songs, devotional songs in India, which praises adversities and sufferings and pains and sorrows. There are many, many devotional songs which praises and says to the Lord that please give me suffering, please give me sorrow, please give me pain, because when I am in sorrow, when I am in pain, I remember you more than that I remember you when I am in happiness. As you know, Kabir Das also says, दुख में सुमिरन सब करे, सुख में करे न कोई, जो सुख में भी सुमिरन करे, तो दुख काहे को होए. That means everyone seeks the Lord, everyone seeks the truth when one undergoes pains or sufferings. But he does not remember the Lord, he does not remember the ultimate when he is happy, when everything is going fine and beautiful. He does not remember the Lord. But he who remembers the Lord, even in his good times, how can bad time come to him? Because his time will change. It is not that he will not undergo suffering or pains. He will undergo suffering and pain, but they will no longer be pain to him or sorrow or sufferings to him. Yes, Dulalji, we must welcome suffering because we welcome happiness. We welcome our good times with both our hands. But we must always remember that when we are ready to welcome and accept our good times, our happier times, then we must also be ready to accept the bad times, the tough times, the sorrows and sufferings. Because they are not two different things. As light and darkness are not two different things. They are not two different existences. They are not two different or two opposite poles. They are the manifestation, different degree of manifestation of the same thing. As Bhagavan says that what is darkness? Darkness means lesser light. The light is less. So, darkness and light are not opposite things. It is the same thing, only the difference in the degree of manifestation. Similarly, good, bad, happiness and sorrow, they are not two entirely different things. They are the same thing, which only differs in the degree of manifestation. So if we are ready to accept the good, the happy things, the good things, we must also be ready to accept the bad, the tough times, the sorrows, the sufferings, the pains. If we are ready, then we will not have to undergo any sufferings anymore. Why? Because when I am ready to accept suffering, then it is no more suffering. Till what means when we suffer, when we are not ready to accept it. When I am ready to accept it, okay, you come, then it's no more suffering to me. When I am not ready, when I try to resist it, then it gives me sorrow, it gives me pain. But when I am ready to accept it, yeah, you are welcome. Then it is no more a suffering to me. And these sufferings, these pains, these adversities, actually they help in our development to realize the truth. And that is why, as I said, there are many, many songs in India, especially devotional songs, which praises sufferings and sorrows, and even praise to the Almighty to give more sufferings, more pains, because it is in my bad times that I remember the Lord most. You know, when after the war of Kurukshetra, Sri Krishna was about to return to Dwarka, he was meeting everyone. So, and he asked everyone that what do they need, or means just telling everyone. So he came to Kunti. Kunti was his auntie, Bua, Pishi, jake boli. So he came to Kunti and just inquired about her wellness and welfare and everything. And then Kunti, we know the life of Kunti. She led a very, so means in our terms, in the terms of these worldly affairs, we would call a very miserable life, a life full of sufferings. She became widow at a very early age. She had to take care of 5 sons, and they were, thrown away of their kingdom illegally. And then there were so many sufferings, so many adversities they have to undergo. That Kunti, she prayed to Sri Krishna that, "Oh Krishna, please keep me in sufferings, because when I suffer, you are with me. You are with me." And the person, actually what is the normal tendency? A person who suffers will never ask for more sufferings. What will we ask? We will ask Bhagwan, or, "Oh Lord, please make me happy, give me happiness, so that I can enjoy my life, I can be happy and cheerful and always be bright." But what did she ask? A lady who led a miserable life, a life full of sufferings, she asked from Krishna that, "Oh Krishna, please keep me in sufferings, so that, because in my sufferings, you are always with me. So always keep me in suffering, so that you be with me." So when the Lord is with us, when the Supreme is with us in our sufferings, it is no more any suffering. So these sufferings, these adversities, they are always welcome. And when with the increase of this, our quest, our eagerness, our earnestness to know the truth increases, we approach the truth more and more, we go near the truth more and more, and ultimately when we go to the top, when this first bird went to the topmost position where the second bird was, then what did he see? It saw that there was no second bird anytime. There was always one single bird. So similarly, when we gradually approach the ultimate truth, and when we realize our real self, then we can see that actually this phenomenal world, with all it, adversity, with all its variations and with all these different things, they actually never exist. What exists is one single truth, which is known as Atman or Brahman. This is the ultimate truth. But now, at present, what do I see? When a novice, when an aspirant enters in the field of spirituality, he knows himself to be enchained with different chains, and he is weak and feeble and he cannot do anything. So this has to be broken. These chains have to be broken. We have to cut asunder all these chains. And we have to realize our real nature, to discover our real nature. How is it to be realized? How this dream that we are dreaming, like all these things, how this is to be broken? The Upanishad says, Atma ba'are drashtabhya srotabhya mantavya nididhasitabhya. That this Atman is first to be, it is to be seen. How? Drashtabhya. How? Srotabhya. You have to hear about the Atman. This Atman has first to be heard, and then mantavya, and then it is to be reasoned upon. We have to analyze it, we have to reason it. And then nididhasitabhya, that means it is to be meditated upon. This is the process of Vedanta, that this Atman is first to be heard upon, and then reflected upon, reasoned upon, analyzed, and then upon analyzing and reflecting, it is to be meditated. And what helps in this? As Swami Vivekananda says, that the truth has to be heard, then reflected upon, and then to be constantly asserted. Think always, I am Brahman. So how we have to think, or what we have to think? We have to always think that I am Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi. Never let a weak thought enter your mind. Always chant day and night that I am verily that Brahman. I am Brahman. I am Brahman. Adi Shankaracharya says, Shivaham, Shivaham. I am verily that Shiva. That means that consciousness, that knowledge, that ultimate truth. Constantly go on chanting this. So this is the first thing, that this Atman is first to be heard, then to be reflected upon, and then it is to be meditated upon. And in the depths of meditation, we have this samadhi, the realization of self. This is the path or the process of realization, the grammar. And how we are to think, what kind of thoughts we are to cultivate. Swami Vivekananda says, never say, oh Lord, I am a miserable sinner. This is against the doctrine of Vedanta. Never think yourself to be a sinner. Never think yourself to be weak. If you think yourself to be a miserable person, you will become miserable. If you think yourself to be a sinner, you will become a sinner. On the contrary, think always, I am Brahman, I am Brahman, I am Brahman. And this thought will introduce you to your real self, which is actually Brahman. You will realize yourself as Brahman. Because it is our thought that makes us. What I am today is the summation of the thoughts that I have thought before. And what I will be tomorrow is the summation of the thoughts, or will be the summation of the thoughts which I am thinking today. So if you want a better future, if you want a strong future, if you want a beautiful future, think of good thoughts, think of powerful and strong thoughts. Never think yourself to be weak and miserable and feeble. Think yourself to be of immense strength. And the self-realized person says, what do they say? Always chant in your soul that I am Brahman, I am Brahman. I am ever free, ever pure, ever divine, birthless and deathless Brahman. Go on thinking this. Why? Because then in the near future you will realize that yes, you are verily the Brahman. It is our thoughts, these weak and feeble and miserable thoughts, that make us miserable, that make us feel that we are enchained. If we go on constantly chanting that I am enslaved with these and these, I am enchained with so many chains and so many bondage, I will be enchained. On the contrary thing, I am ever free. There is no bondage for me. I am the ever free Atman. Go on thinking like this, because this thought will introduce you to your real self, which is ever free, the Atman or Brahman. So pay attention to the thoughts. As we need good and nutritious food for the body, we need this strong and beautiful thoughts for the mind. We need this. And Swamiji says, what does Swamiji say? That, oh Lord, never say that, oh Lord, I am a miserable sinner. Who will help you? You see, the thought process of a Vedantin, how beautiful it is, how strong it is. How strong it is. Swami Vivekananda says, who will help you? You are the help of the universe. There is nobody to help you. On the contrary, you are the help of the universe. Now, when we hear this, we will be taken aback. I am the help of the universe. How can I be the help of the universe? I cannot solve my own problems and I am the help of the universe. Yes, why cannot we think so? Because right from our childhood, we have been thinking weak and feeble thoughts. We have been said several times that we are miserable, we cannot do this, we cannot do that. So, these actually made us what we are today, what we think today. Give up these weak thoughts. Because Swami Vivekananda says, you are the help of the universe. So who is there to help you? There is nobody to help you. Whenever you asked for help and you got some help, it is you who has helped yourself, and you thought that there was some supreme being who has helped you. Actually, it is you who has helped yourself. So, there is no second being who is there to help you. You have to help yourself out. And not only this, you are the help of the universe. You are the help of the universe. And that is why it is said that nobody but me to blame. I am my embodied past. In the past, whatever I thought, whatever I did, shaped me as I am today. So whatever I will think today, the actions that I will do, and more than the actions, they are the thoughts which make us. So the thoughts we will do, the thought process that we will undergo will determine my future, how I will be in my future. So it is said that think of strong thoughts. Never think that somebody is coming to help you. Help yourself out. And not only this, you are the help of the universe. And whenever you have cried for help, there was no second being who helped you. It was you yourself who has helped and thought that there was a second entity or there was someone second who has helped you. Like the bird which always when it saw up, it saw that there is a second bird and it got the inspiration to hop up there. But at the end, when it reached the topmost part, it saw that there was never a time when there was a second bird. What it was seeing was actually its own reflection. So what we are seeing everywhere is my own reflection, as is said in Vedanta, that this world is the apparent projection of the self. That this world that we see, it is the apparent projection of the self. So, I have to make myself strong. I have to cultivate these strong ideals. Because if I am strong, whatever I will do will be strong. Whatever I will say will be strong. And ultimately my future will become strong. So, Vedanta always stresses upon this thought. It doesn't pay much attention to the work, to the activity, because work are the grosser manifestation of the thoughts. First we think and then we work. So, when we are thinking, if our thoughts are strong, our works will be strong. They will be beautiful. So, cultivate strong thoughts. This is what we need. We need ourselves to make strong. And Vedanta, as we know, it speaks of strength. It speaks of strength. It says that never think yourself to be weak, because if you go on thinking yourself that I am weak, I am feeble, you will ultimately become that. And if you go on thinking that I am Brahman, I am Shiva, as we chant every day, you know, Shivaham, Satchidanandaham, I am that Satchit Ananda Swarupa, that is, I am of the nature of existence absolute, of knowledge absolute and bliss absolute. If I go on chanting these day after day and night all along that I am Satchidananda, I am Shiva, I will ultimately come to know about the Sorry about the interruption due to technical issues. We don't have anything to do with this, but there might be interruption in the technical things, but there must not be any interruption in our thoughts about the divine. There must never be any interruption in our thoughts about the divine. So, it is said that whenever we cry for help, whenever we have asked for help, and whenever we have been replied, whenever help has come, it is me who has helped myself and has thought that there was some second being or second existence, some supreme being who has helped me. But when I will come to know the real nature of myself, I will see that there is never a second existence other than mine, which is not this existence, not the existence of the body or the existence of this mind, of this existence of the intellect or ego, the existence which is the ultimate existence, which is the absolute existence, which is known as Satchidananda. And that is why the realized souls have said that go on chanting day after day, day and night, that Satchidanandaham, Satchidanandaham, Satchidanandaham. Go on. So, this is what we need to do. And Vedanta, what does Vedanta says? That Vedanta says that you are the creator of this universe. You are the creator of this universe. What does that mean? I have created this universe. Yes. How come? Today, at this present moment, we are here discussing Vedanta. We have created our own environment. Now, who has created this? For the time being, this is our universe. Who has created this universe? We could have, sat together in this way, and we could have quarreled and argued, rebuked each other. The world would have been entirely different. But we sat for a noble cause that we will be discussing about Vedanta. So this universe of ours, this world of ours has been created by us. So you are the creator of your own universe. Know this. You must know this, that you are the creator of your own universe. But what is our problem? That we are like the silkworm. You know the silkworm? The silkworm, what does it do? When a time comes, it builds a cocoon around itself. At a corner of a house or anywhere, it builds a cocoon around itself. And it is not that the cocoon is built by someone else. It builds its own cocoon. And it gets trapped there. Similarly, we have created our own cocoon, our own world with our thoughts. We can feeble thoughts, and that is why we cannot accept adversities. We are fearful of any adversities or any pain or any sorrow. Why? Because our cocoon, the thought process which we have gone right from the childhood, those are weak thought processes. Break up your cocoon, burst your cocoon, break it up and come out. Break it and come out. See the world. Have a look at this beautiful world. How is this world? It is not this world which we are used up to, which is full of incompleteness, which is full of imperfection, which is full of diversities. It is not that world. When we will come to know about the real nature of ourselves, then the world that we will see will be transformed. When we burst the cocoon of those weak thoughts and we introduce ourselves and cultivate those strong and beautiful thoughts, those divine thoughts, then the world which we see will be transformed, and that new world will be a world of completeness. It will be a world of perfection. It will be a world full of divinity. It will be a world full of bliss. So burst out of your cocoon and never ask for anyone's help. That, oh Swamiji, you please help me to burst out. This is the problem with us. Whenever we will say, burst your own cocoon, then you will look for someone, take me off my cocoon. There is no one to take you. You have to work out your own salvation. Everyone, as Swami Vivekananda says, that everyone of us has to work out our own salvation. There is no one to help. Don't cry for any help. Stand up on your feet. Fight against all the odds. And know the truth. And then see the world. You will see the world has been transformed as we chant every day that Om Madhuvata Ritayate Madhuksharanti Sindhava, that everything is sweet, everything is so blissful. So is that another world which has been described? Om Madhuvata Ritayate, everything is sweet, everything is so beautiful, everything is so blissful. It is this same world, just the thoughts have changed due to the realization of self. And how did they realize? They first heard about the self, and then they reflected on the self, and then they meditated on the self. And in the depths of meditation, they have realized their real divine and eternal nature, which is Atman or Brahman. And with this realization, the entire thing changes. My vision changes. You know, when someone has a cataract, suddenly he sees that everything is like hazy. Things are not very clear. He goes to the doctor says the problem is in your eyes. There is cataract in your eyes. And then the doctor doesn't operate the cataract then and there. What does the doctor say? That the cataract must mature. When it gets matured, then they operate it. Similarly, this earnestness in us for knowing the truth must mature. It must be so strong that I must have this feeling that I can no longer live without knowing the truth. Without having this realization of the self, I can no longer proceed even for a single minute. When this earnestness will mature in me, when it will intensify and intensify in this way, then it will be operated. And when the patient, after operation, what does he see? He sees everything so beautiful, so clear, crystal clear to him. Similarly, when this ignorance of ours goes off, when we break our cocoon and come out of this, chains, then the world that we see will be a world of perfection. Then the world that we see will be a world of bliss. But that does not mean that now the world that we see is a world of imperfection, because the perfect never become imperfect. It is this very world. The world does not change. My vision changes. My perspective of seeing the things changes. It is not that there will be no sufferings, but then that suffering, which a pinch of that suffering before it created a havoc in my life, I will see when I have that suffering, nothing comes to me, I can embrace it. No more a suffering to me, because I can accept it. I can embrace it. I can hug it. So it is now loving to me. It is not something which I will try to resist with all my heart and all my soul. On the contrary, I will just embrace it with both my hands that, yes, my dear friend, please come. Whether it is happiness or sorrow, pleasure or suffering, hardly matters. I will welcome everyone with an open heart, with a big heart. This is the difference that is created when we are ignorant and when we become or when we realize the self. And this is the process. Be careful about the thoughts. Never let a weak or a feeble thought enter you, not even touch you. Always chant that I am Brahman, I am Brahman. Always chant Shivaham, 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 Shivaham. These powerful thoughts will cut asunder all your chains, and a day will come when you will declare yourself to be free and eternal. You will declare yourself. That is the beauty of these thoughts. It is these thoughts that our thoughts, we create our world with our thoughts actually. Because activities comes much later. They come much later because activities are just the gross manifestation of our thoughts. So Vedanta emphasizes on the thought process, what we think divine. Think of the Atman day and night. Reflect on it, analyze it, meditate upon it, and then realize it. This is the path to realization. I would like to have questions, if any. Yes, Dr. Resham Chattopadhyay asks, she asks that is this realization synonymous with samadhi? This realization is samadhi. Samadhi means the state where there is no hindrance or impediment between me and the Brahman. Where there is no hindrance or impediment between me and Atman, me and Brahman. So I become one with Brahman. I realize Brahman. And how do I realize? Not something separate from me. I realize Brahman as my own self. I am verily that Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi. This comes in samadhi. You realize this in samadhi. So this realization of self and samadhi, they are synonymous. Yes, I would like to ask you that if you have any questions regarding this, you please feel free to ask, to express yourself. Any questions from anyone? Because we want these sessions to, be an interactive session, not just a voice session, that there, even if you can express yourself or share something, or if you have questions to ask, you may surely ask, and you may feel free to ask these questions, because the more interactive the sessions are, the better they are for everyone. So it would be nice if I can have questions from you. No more questions? You see, actually, there are no questions only to two types of student. A student who has not understood anything will not ask any question, and a student who has understood everything, the subject is quite clear to him, will never ask any question. So I am sure that you are not everyone present here, you are not at least the student of the first kind, that who has not understood everything, because you have been in this field, in the spiritual field for some time. So here I have to guess that you have understood, if not the entire thing, at least some of it. And that is really a happy thing. Yes, Pashupati ji, that a true lover always prefer to hear about the self, but as it is said that you have also to reflect upon the self. Reflection on the self, when you will reflect upon the self, then there can be questions, and there will be questions. Of course, as you are all in this field for quite some time, for quite a long time, so it is also obvious that at times you cannot have questions. Understanding is one thing, and assimilation takes time. That is, of course, Devashish ji, that when you try to assimilate, and just not assimilate and absorb. Until and unless we can absorb this settles down within me and I feel it, even before feeling or having the realization of Brahman, you will have some realizations, of different kinds, which will help you in this process, which will help you in this path. For example, one can have a feeling of peace within him, one can spontaneously has a feeling of bliss, for just a few minutes or few seconds, that there is a bliss which I am feeling. So there might be these feelings, small feelings, now and then, which will help you to proceed in this path, because there must be something which must help you in this path. Else, if the aspirant doesn't get anything, then it becomes hard for the aspirant to proceed on. So, when thought process, we at times have some sort of realizations. They are not the absolute realization, they are not the realization of Brahman, but they are some sidewise realizations which help us to proceed in the path towards the ultimate goal. So, it is of course very important to understand, assimilate, and then absorb the thing. And when we absorb the thing, like when we put manure in the soil, when in a top, in a flower plant, you just put some fertilizers, or manure. What the manure has to do, if it remains as a manure, then it will not serve any purpose. The manure has to mix with the soil. The soil has to absorb the manure. If the soil is not capable of absorbing the manure, then the plant cannot be benefited. That will be no use for the plant. However costly the manure or the fertilizer might be, until and unless the soil has the capacity to absorb that manure, it is of no use. Similarly, we have to absorb it. And how to absorb it? Think about it time and again. Think about it. And that is why it is said that the Atman has to be hard upon and then reflected upon. The more we reflect upon this, the more we think about it, the more we analyze about Brahman, we gain the power to absorb the thing, absorb the essence, what has been said. So, this is one very important aspect, that think about this. These words must not finish with the finishing of this session. We must go on reflecting on these thoughts time and again, time and again. So, if there is no questions any further, then Kalpana ji wrote, "Thank you so much, Swamiji." Sorry, you have wrote, Kalpana ji, you have wrote such a big one. She has wrote, "Thank you so much, Swami जी, आपके क्लास अटेंड करने से मेरे सवालों का समाधान मिल रहा है। तो आप ज़रूर इन सेशंस को देखते रहिए, और केवल देखिए ही मत। हम बार बार से गुजारिश करते हैं सभी से कि इन बातों को, वेदांत की इन बातों को लोगों तक पहुंचाइए, क्योंकि बहुत ज़रूरी है। वेदांत के बातों को लोगों तक पहुंचना ये बहुत ज़रूरी है, बहुत आवश्यक है। कम से कम आज के दिन में, आज के युग में, आज के इस कठिन परिस्थिति में लोग अगर इनको जानेंगे तो उनके, जैसे आपके समस्याओं का समाधान हो रहा है, यानी हर किसी के समस्याओं का समाधान हो सकता है। और कोई अगर इन बातों को थोड़ा गौर से, थोड़ा श्रद्धापूर्वक, थोड़ा ध्यान से अगर सुनेगा तो इसका लाभ अवश्य होगा, क्योंकि वेदांत हमारे समस्याओं का समाधान करता है। और किस प्रकार से, एक एक करके नहीं, इसका संपूर्ण समाधान करता है, एक साथ समाधान करता है। ऐसा समाधान वो करता है कि आगे चलकर और हमारे लिए समस्याएं जो है वो समस्या नहीं रहता। तो इसीलिए हमारी आप सभी से निवेदन है कि आप लोग इन बातों को लोगों तक पहुंचाइए, लोगों को कहिए, कहते रहिए, and go on telling the world that it is one with truth, it is one with Brahman. अगर और कोई सवाल नहीं है, if there are no more questions, then I would like to end today's session with this. We will be meeting again on Thursday in our Bengali class on YouTube Live. Till then, namaskar.